Do you want to learn how to make really effective YouTube ads on a budget, even if you aren't the most charismatic person in front of the camera? Well, then stay tuned, because in this video right here, I'm going to be breaking down an ad in the finance space that has over 4 million views. That's just a talking head and a bunch of B-roll. Now, before we jump into the video, I quickly do want to introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Neil. I do a ton of these ad breakdowns and teach people how to run and make really effective YouTube ads. More about that in the link in the description below. So the ad that we're going to be breaking down today is by a guy named Louis Navalier. And no offense to Louis, I think he's done really well with this ad. It has over 4 million views, but I don't think this ad was shot in any special way. And I don't think Louis is the most charismatic person on camera. So it's a very simple ad, but very effective. Also, I don't know the validity of the actual offer itself. Is it legit or is it a scam? I don't know. So essentially, Louis is selling investments / financial advice in the form of a membership that costs anywhere from $49 to $99 a month. Again, I'm not here to comment on the validity of the offer. I'm just here to comment on the ads. And despite all of this, the ad did really well. So let's go ahead, jump on my computer and take a look at the first 30 seconds, and we'll slow everything down and break it step by step. And we're all on my computer, and as you guys can see, this ad has about 4.5 million views, which is really impressive considering the niche. So let's take a look at the first 30 seconds.
Don't press that skip ad button. I can guarantee it will be the biggest financial mistake of your life. My name is Louis Navalier, and I'm a member of America's 1%. I manage over $1 billion for America's wealthiest elite. But I didn't create this video for my rich clients. Today, I'm issuing an urgent warning to everyone else. You see, a huge economic shift is about to take place in America, one that will make the rich even richer, while at the same time bankrupting countless others. Few people know any of this is about.
All right, so a lot to digest. Let's go to the beginning, slow everything down, and I'll break it step by step. So starting off, and I've mentioned this in a lot of other ad breakdowns, is the use of an attention grabber to completely start the video. So Louis does this as well in order to get the viewer who's watching this ad's attention right onto the video itself. And he does this by saying, hey, don't skip the ad button.
Don't press that skip ad button.
Again, this is a pretty common one that a lot of people are using. I don't know if it's going to be as effective going into 2022, 2023, but for when this ad was launched, this is a great way to hook the person in.
I can guarantee it will be the biggest financial mistake of your life.
So this is something unique and we haven't really covered in some of the other ad breakdowns, is the use of a outrageous big bold claim to hook the viewer in. So Louis basically in this ad says, listen, you want to watch the rest of the ad, otherwise it's going to be the biggest financial mistake of your entire life. Now, this is a very, very bold claim, and I think it does a great job at hooking in a lot of people.
My name is Louis Navalier, and I'm a member of America's 1%.
So here's where we start seeing some of the layering in to kind of justify the claim that he's saying. So obviously Louis presents himself as the 1%er, as somebody who's successful. And because he's somebody part of the 1%, he kind of has somewhat authority to speak on financial matters.
I manage over $1 billion for America's wealthiest elite. But
again, this is a way of establishing somewhat credibility to the big bold claim that he just used in the hook.
But I didn't create this video for my rich clients.
So what Louis does here is he calls out the audience here. And this is a pretty standard call out tactic that we use to address our target market. So basically anybody who's not in our target market is just going to go ahead and skip the video ad and basically save us some money. In this case, Louis explicitly states that this isn't for people that are rich like his clients. So it's pertaining to the bottom demographic financially that's going to be interested in this ad.
Today, I'm issuing an urgent warning to everyone else. You see, a huge economic shift is about.
Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons this ad is effective. And I think this really is what carries this video, particularly because all we hear from Louis is just this standing talking head video, right? So in order to spice this video up, in order to keep the attention, what we're seeing is a use of a lot of graphic overlays, as you are seeing, that are emphasizing the important points of this video, as well as B-roll.
And I'm a member of America's 1%. I manage over...
As you can see, there's the use of B-roll here just to keep that engagement high. They're following the rule of 10, which is that within every 10 seconds, you want to splice in something, either a new transition, a graphic overlay, B-roll, but they're, especially at the beginning of the ad, they're doing a lot more of this. It's almost like 1 every 2 seconds. And that's what counteracts the boring talking head style video. It's the use of all of these video editing and graphical elements that's keeping this video engaging, despite the fact that it's just a talking head and voice overlay. So let's take a closer look at these transitions as well as the graphical overlays, because again, these are like little tricks that anybody can employ in order to get more engagement in their ads.
It will be the biggest financial mistake of your life.
Simple little tricks like that do a lot for engagement and re-engaging the viewer. So let's go back to where we left off.
Few people know any of this is about to happen. Those who do don't have a clue about what to do or how to prepare. If you're on the right side of this shift, you're virtually guaranteed to make a fortune.
So in this area, what Louis does, and this is pretty classic for a lot of info products or e-commerce products, is to over-exaggerate the problem that their product or service is solving. We've seen this in the previous ad breakdown in the e-commerce one, where they really exaggerate the problem and illustrate it using visuals, right? So in this case, Louis is basically saying, hey, this big economic thing is going to happen, and unless you know about it, all these bad things are going to happen to you. So let's take a closer look at how these bad things are going to happen to people and what sort of painting he does to illustrate the major pain points of his product or service.
If you're on the wrong side, you could lose your job or your business. The value of your investment portfolio could crater. I've never seen anyone from my side of the wealth divide step forward to explain any of these things.
So very quickly, I do want to mention the use of the specific visual overlays. Again, this is done to over-exaggerate the problems that his product or service is going to be solving. So pretty classic. So if you aren't somebody that can use yourself or an actor, using B-roll like this works just as effectively to illustrate all of the negative things that your product or service is going to come in and solve. So pretty clever here.
I've never seen anyone from my side of the wealth divide step forward to explain any of these things. That's why.
Okay. So this is a very important part here, and I think this is such a great copywriting tactic, and more people need to start employing it. Let's take a look at it one more time.
I've never seen anyone from my side of the wealth divide step forward to explain any of these things.
I've never seen anyone from my side of the wealth gap come in and explain these things. So here's what's really interesting about this type of messaging is that it builds intrigue and positions this entire economic problem in a new light. It presents it from a new angle. Now, this is so clever, and I think Louis did something really sneaky earlier in the video that really illustrates this point. See, Louis presents himself as a 1%er, not a millionaire, not a billionaire, but as a 1%er. And I think this is intentional. It's done intentionally to present himself as something new and not classify himself as part of all of the other people that are offering financial advice on YouTube. Even though there's like 1,000 other investment and financial people on YouTube and other platforms all advertising, Louis makes this key distinction that separates him from all of those other people because he isn't presenting or packaging himself as one of the other guys. The entire messaging here is, hey, even though there's 1,000 other people that provide investment and financial advice, I am different because one, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a 1%er, not just a hedge fund person or a regular billionaire. I'm a 1%er. He packages and promotes his products and services as something new, a brand new, unique opportunity. And I think this is very clever.
That's why I put together the free video that you can watch by clicking the link below.
So this right here is a great example of a soft call to action. Obviously, there's a lot left in the ad, but this is a good way to get some of the people who are highly interested to click on the ad earlier.
In it, I lay out exactly what is happening, including several key steps every American should take right now. It doesn't matter if you have $500 in savings or $5 million. You can.
So this is a great objection handling tactic that Louis uses here. And I think more people need to start doing this. Go do some audience research, figure out what are the most common objections people have when it comes to your product or service. So Louis probably realized a lot of people feel like they may not have enough money to go invest or take his financial advice. So he gets ahead of this problem, right? By saying, it doesn't matter if you have $5 million or $500, this advice will apply to you, or whatever this video will apply to you. So this is a great way of getting ahead of the problem and handling the common objection.
It doesn't matter if you have $500 in savings or $5 million. You can benefit from the information in this video. To learn how you can prepare, click Watch Now.
So this is another good soft call to action. I think he has one more at the end. But while we are paused here, I do want to make note of the music. As you noticed, in the beginning, it was a lot more mellow, whereas throughout the video, it's been getting a little bit louder and a little bit more dramatic, right? And this is done purposely. It's because the emotions that Louis is trying to entice are getting a bit more intense, and using background epic music is a great way to build that tension, build on those emotions, and really exaggerate the pain points that he's illustrating in this video. Obviously, finances are a big part of anybody's life, and the pain associated with those is pretty grand. So he's able to pull on those levers using this background music as well as the visuals to really illustrate that point. So pretty well done in the post-production phase right here.
Just don't wait. The information I want to share with you today is controversial, so much so that it could be taken down at any moment.
So this is a great little scarcity tactic. Obviously, I don't think he's actually presenting information that could be taken down at any second, but this creates a great source of scarcity and urgency. So somebody who might be somewhat inclined will be highly inclined because, this information may not be available forever. So this is a great little tactic in the information space that we see where there's no inventory or no physical inventory, and people kind of know that, hey, webinars aren't really super live anymore. This is a great way to create some of that scarcity by saying, hey, this information may not be available, it might be taken down because it's so controversial. So I think this is a clever way to entice some of those scarcity tactics.
I urge you to watch this video before it's too late. Thank you for watching.
So again, he has another good call to action to end the video. Now let's talk about the ad in general. Was this the most engaging, highly cinematic, and over-edited ad ever? I don't think so, but it did do a great job at painting that pain picture. And because the offering is so strong and it applies to a lot of people, you can kind of get away with not the best ad, right? And this is a great example of that. I'm sure further iterations of this ad are going to be better, but in its most basic form, it gets the job done. And that's what I want to make sure that I illustrate. If you have a very solid offer, right, your YouTube ads don't need to be that impressive. Obviously, the less impressive your offer is, the better your ads need to be. So there is that little seesaw when it comes to marketing on YouTube. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you want to learn all of these little tactics and want to figure out what makes a good ad from a bad ad, and you want to learn all of this stuff in depth, well, I recommend checking out the top link in this description. It'll take you to a page about our course where we literally teach you all of this stuff. So if you are interested, click the link in the description. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.